Hello and welcome to this guide to getting your Proven Assailant title. I've made this guide for new Shadow Priests, so you don't have to play perfectly to pass this challenge. The Proving Ground scales with your eye level, so you can't outgear it, you can only outplay it. That said, some Azerite traits are more useful than others. In my attempt, 30% of my damage came from Shadow Word Pain. Death Throes, which increases the damage of Shadow Word Pain, is therefore absolutely excellent. If I could have taken it on all 3 slots, I would have. Other Azerite traits are at your discretion. I used Chorus of Insanity on my helm and Spiteful Apparitions on my chest piece, but they weren't nearly as useful as Death Throes. Using the right consumables can really take the edge off this fight. I've used the Flask of Endless Fathoms for the intellect buff, the Battle-Scarred Augment rune for the intellect, and the War Scroll of Intellect for the 7% intellect buff. You can also use your choice of buff food. A sanguinated or Captain's Bountiful Feast is best for the intellect, but I use swamp fish and chips because chips are nice. My talent choices for this challenge were really rather conventional. I took Shadow Word Void in the first row, although Fortress of the Mind would have been just as good. Now, Shadowy Insight does look good on paper, but it operates on a real procs per minute basis, meaning that having multiple Shadow Word Pains running at the same time doesn't increase the proc chance of the talent. Body and Soul is the only pick in the second tier due to the mobility requirements of the fight. I used Dark Void in the third tier, which makes the massed AoE elements completely trivial. In the fourth tier, Psychic Horror is amazing for trivialising those banana tossers. In the UK, the word tosser is a synonym for a wanker, which is quite appropriate for these simian bellends. Auspicious Spirits was my 5th tier pick. This was due to the synergy between this talent and Spiteful Apparitions on my Azerite armour, and I think that any talent in this tier is totally serviceable. I took Lingering Insanity in the 6th row, although Mindbender is just as good. I found that it had a nice synergy with Legacy of the Void. The additional haste helped me get back into void form nice and quickly. The Proving Grounds consists of a sequence of 10 waves, which then repeat infinitely, getting harder and harder at each repetition. Wave 1's nice and easy. We're going to hit these little guys with Dark Void, we'll silence the big Amber Weaver, and then we'll dot him up as well as his mates. You need to avoid getting hit by the Amber Globes, they'll freeze you in place. This is where Body and Soul really helps with mobility. As you can see, Dark Void is ample to kill the little guys, and the Amber Weavers just need a little nudge to fall over. Wave 1 is extremely forgiving. As long as you don't get hit by globes, you'll be absolutely fine. I tend to use the downtime between waves to build up insanity by casting Power Word Shield on cooldown. Wave 2 introduces 2 new types of enemy. The Mystic is a healer type, while the Guardian uses a unidirectional shield which blocks damage. To do this wave, I dot up the Guardians and the Amber Weaver, interrupt the Mystic when he casts heal, and then nuke him down while he's silenced. If an enemy gets hit by an Amber Globe, it will be frozen and take additional damage for the duration. This is very helpful, but it's not necessary to use this mechanic in order to complete the challenge. A wild Banshee has appeared. We need to nuke her down as a priority. I just dot her up and then use my single target spell to send her back to her grave. Now that the Banshee's gone, we can mop up this Guardian. Remember that he's got a unidirectional shield, so he'll only go down if we take him from behind. Four, 3, 2, 1. Wave 3 isn't hard, but it is annoying. Open by casting Dark Void in the middle of the pack, then use Void Eruption to enter Void form. The banana tossers will toss bananas at you, and if they connect, you'll take a steep debuff to hit. You therefore need to keep moving and using your instant cast spells to take them down. Dark Void will make quick work of most of the varmints, but you can manually apply Shadow Word Pain to take out any stragglers. If you can pin one of the banana tossers against a wall, you can give them a bloody good spanking. Just remember to stay within the circle. You can pick off any remaining varmints with Mind Sear. It's really easy to clear this wave with plenty of time to spare, so you can treat yourself to a bit of hot dogging and grandstanding before the next wave.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Wave 4 can be a bit fiddly, depending on how annoying the Guardians decide to be. Essentially, your aim is to apply your dots to all of the Guardians while kiting the amber globules onto them. This is a wave where body and soul really shines as you zip around getting behind the shields to apply your dots. A wild banshee has appeared. You need to nuke her down as a priority. I just dot her up. Oh fuck, she's dead. With the banshee down, the dots have chewed through most of the Guardian's health. We can now just mop them up using body and soul to get into position.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Wave 5 starts with a banana tosser, a mystic and an illusionary Shah. The strategy is to hit the tosser with psychic horror and jib him down while he's stunned. You need to silence the mystic's heal when he casts it. You'll get a DBM warning for this. You can interrupt the mystic's second heal with psychic scream. Having 3 interrupts is very useful on this fight. There's his second cast, and there's the interrupt. A wild banshee has appeared. She needs to go down as a priority. We'll just dot her up and use Mind Sear to cleave her and the illusionary Shah. Until this point, the Shah was shielded and was taking greatly reduced damage. Now his shield has dropped and he's taking increased damage. We need to enter void form at this point and blow him up using our single target rotation.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Wave 6 features 2 mystics and 1 pack of varmints. The mystics heal their lowest health ally, so the trick is to wound but not kill the varmints, so the mystics don't heal each other. We'll use Dark Void to dot up the varmints. We'll then apply both of our dots to both mystics, and then take down each mystic in turn. If a mystic looks like he's going to be healed, we have 3 interrupts to play with: Silence, Psychic Horror and Psychic Scream, so it's nice and easy to shut these guys down.
Four, 3.
Wave 7 is a redux of Wave 4, but adds a banana tosser and a second amber weaver to the mix. As usual, the banana tosser is a bit of a pain, so we'll stun him with Psychic Horror and then we'll just jib him down. I got lucky with this amber globule placement, but it wasn't necessary to the success of this run. The dots finished off the tosser, so I'll manoeuvre about the place, dotting up my nemeses and avoiding the globules. As always, Body and Soul is lovely for the on-demand speed boost. If you can kite the globules onto the Guardians, it's doubly helpful in that it neutralises their shield and it causes them to take additional damage. This is a pretty comfortable wave though, and as long as you don't get hit with the globules, you'll finish it with plenty of time to spare.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Wave 8 is nice and easy. We'll start with a Mystic who heals and 2 Slayers who don't do anything. We'll apply our dots to all 3, then focus the Mystic, interrupting his heals. When the wild Banshee appears, we'll dot her up and then we'll take her down as a priority using our single target rotation. There she goes. If the Mystic tries to heal again, we'll simply interrupt his cast using Psychic Scream. We now have 2 Banshees up. We'll apply our dots as usual and nuke them both down. This is a really good time to be in void form. I almost forgot about this little guy. We'll just get him now.
4, 3.
Wave 9 can be
2,
tricky, so it's a good time to grab one of the 2 Bloodlust buffs which spawn. As always, we pick off the Banana Tosser first, using Psychic Horror to stun him before giving him the business. I'm just going to scoot around here, avoiding the bananas that the Banana Tosser is tossing, dotting up all of the mobs. Once the Banana Tosser is eaten by the dots, things become a little easier. We can now hardcast Vampiric Touch on all of the mobs, which will really chew through them. It's best to leave the Amber Weaver alive, as his globule is very helpful for killing the Banshee which spawns about halfway through this wave. We can now mop up the stragglers with plenty of time remaining.
Four, 3, 2, 1.
Wave 10 features a large illusory Shah. For the first 40 seconds of the fight, he'll take reduced damage, so it's sensible to pool your insanity in preparation for the burn phase. The Bloodlust buff lasts for 30 seconds, so you should grab it exactly halfway through this wave. I don't play this wave optimally and grab the Bloodlust buff a little late, in fact 10 seconds late, so I waste about 10 seconds of its uptime. You can see the Bloodlust buff, it's the red icon at the middle bottom of my screen. When his shield drops, you want to cast Void Eruption and use your single target rotation. The Shadow Fiend will add a little DPS here, so it's quite useful to blow it now. As you can see, I made a bit of a hash of that, as I hadn't pulled enough insanity to enter Void form as soon as the shield dropped. This just goes to show that you don't have to be a fantastic player, or to play optimally, to pass this challenge. Friends, thank you for watching. Cheerio.